So Ryan Hawk, the transfer from Valpo, will kick it off for New Mexico State. Braylon Presley, Calvin Johnson III, the two guys back deep for Tulsa. A mini delay, about 8 minutes ahead of kickoff. Rain earlier, some lightning as well. Both teams desperate to start 2-0. It's been a while for both programs. Hawk will swing that right leg through the football, and we are underway in week 2 from Aggie Memorial, and it's a touchback for the Tulsa offense. Kelly Horizon, the second member of our crew, and we'll send it down to her for the first time tonight.
Hey guys, here in week 2 of college football, we have one of 23 undefeated matchups to start the year. Now, a couple of keys headed into tonight is this is going to be a showdown of what New Mexico State can improve upon from what we saw in week 1. Number 1 focus is going to be improving upon its run game. We saw them collect just 78 yards rushing last week. Head coach Tony Sanchez saying that is going to have to start with their vertical push as well as a bit more physicality from its tight ends in terms of its pass game. We saw flashes of what Logan Fife can do at quarterback, throwing for 227 yards. Their focus there is going to be pass protection, as Andy talked about. Lights out performance from defense, so they're going to look to keep that consistent. So the fixes they have to make pretty minor, but could be the difference between a win and a loss here against Tulsa.
Thank you, Kelly. Gain of 4 for the running back, Dominic Richardson, who's had a great career. He was actually with the Aggies in spring ball. That pass incomplete, intended for tight end, Indiana transfer Brody Foley. Third down coming up for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Aggie defense stopped the run a week ago. The Tulsa offense ran the ball extremely well. They ran for 263 against Abilene Christian, 5.7 per rush a week ago. Right now they go empty in the backfield on 3rd and 6. Kirk Francis, the quarterback, underneath, and he hooks up with his wide receiver, Mizzou transfer Mekhi Miller, his second catch this year.
Yeah, that defense closes fast on the ball. We saw last week they became really fast in the second half. They got a half a step. Here's the tempo Coach Morse was worried about.
Swing pass near side. It is caught by wide receiver Zion Booker, who's blasted out of bounds by Nate Mitchell. That tempo, that's hard defensively to play against, isn't it, Danny?
It is, and you have to really get your reads fast because you got to have a 4 to 6 sprint. You got a really brief break and then another 4 to 6 second sprint.
11th career start at Tulsa for the quarterback, Francis, who is a Tulsa native. Empty backfield again, swing pass again. And this time it's caught by Braylon Presley, the former wide receiver, who's playing running back this year and wide receiver for Tulsa. He's dynamic, Danny, at 5'6", 170.
Yeah, and when you come up on him, you got to break it down there. You can see how we were just a bit off a little. There's the weather you talked about, the little slip right there. On that last quick pass, he is so fast and like a scat back that you have to break down. So if you just come screaming, running full blast and without breaking down, you run right past him. And even when you break down, you can see how elusive he is. Here's the last one here. There's the slip. We talked about the weather and the rain that we received a little bit before the game, and you can see it right there.
Yeah, it rained about 2 hours ago, but not dry enough yet because of the rain earlier. Deep throw is overthrown. Intended receiver was Miller. Launched way too far by Francis, the quarterback. Third down coming up for Tulsa. Now they go for it a lot on 4th down. They were 4 for 4 on 4th down a week ago. Usually when they cross midfield, they're going to go for it. They're shy of midfield right now on 3rd and 11. Trey Lamb, their first-year head coach last week, showed they would be aggressive on 4th down. This is 3rd and 11 for Tulsa. Francis with time to throw. Pass is caught by his backup tight end, Landon Lucas, but they're going to be shy of the first down by a yard. I'd be stunned if they didn't go for it here.
Come to the quick line quickly. Here it is right here. Nice protection, a little hook in there, and he just delivers.
4th down, pulled back is Richardson. He didn't get it.
Wow.
New Mexico State for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. Turnover on downs defensively. We knew Tulsa would gamble.
Oh, the gamblers they are. Coach Morris said look for them to cross the 50, and it's 4-down territory. You see Sonny Apiu right on the tackle there. Everyone coming to the ball as fast as possible. They don't have to have a yard. Grab a leg, hang on for dear life. Sona, he is the silent assassin, as I told Coach. He just not a lot to say, but he has been playing so fast and just gets the job done, jumps up, not a lot of fanfare, go back and do it again.
32nd career game as an Aggie for Sone Alpiu. Big tackle for him against Richardson, who was with the Aggies once again in spring ball. Aggie offense with good field position to start, but they get flagged to start before the snap to Logan Fife.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's a big part of the offensive line. Armando Nieves, who's making his first start as an Aggie at right tackle, is flagged right there. Remember, Mekhi Lee, the starting left tackle, he's out for the year with an injury. So Malik Williams, who started at right tackle a week ago, shifts to left tackle. Nieves making the start, and he is penalized right away. So some shuffling on the O-line because of the season-ending injury to Mekhi Lee. Twisting and turning is Dijon Stanley, the running back transfer from Utah. And second down is coming up after a 4-yard pickup for Stanley, who ran for 32 a week ago.
Yeah, look for more of the running game in there. So you're going to push it up in the middle. Even if you get just 2 or 3 yards, you still need to be able to do that. We have to run a little bit more than that because it's going to keep everyone honest. And when that happens, then you can start throwing the ball to the outside.
2nd and 11 for Logan Fife. His second start as an Aggie. Had a really good first quarter a week ago. Struggled a bit after that. This time he connects with his wide receiver, P.J. Johnson, up near midfield. Third catch for Johnson this year. He gains 3.
You know, that throw a little bit low, so I think if P.J. gets that ball on the run, he can get some extra yards after catch, but Logan delivered it so low that he really couldn't grab it and then hold on and stay up and go get some extra yardage.
Aggie offense struggled mightily on third down a week ago. 4 for 16 in that win against Bryant. Fife's pass is, I think, tipped at the line. He was clobbered. It was intended for TJ Pride. And it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, not much to do there, Adam. There's a lot of pressure on Logan. He has to try to stay in there as long as possible, but deliver a ball that's catchable. A little bit out in front, but there were people all over him, so makes it a very tough pass to make.
We will keep a close eye on the offensive line tonight because the offensive line was almost brand new coming into the year. Dealt a big blow with the injury to the starting left tackle, Mekhi Lee. We'll see how they continue to progress. And the Tulsa offense will start at the 20 with their second drive. They turned it over on downs to start. We're scoreless, just underway. Nearly 4 minutes in. Wave the Wonder Dog. New Mexico State football back home for week 2. Once again, Kirk Francis, Tulsa native, is the quarterback. Heavy front side pressure. He gets rid of it. Caught by Presley, the speedster on the outside. There was a defender screaming in his face. It was Cole Shenetgoki, and Francis got rid of it quickly, Danny, for a gain of 20.
And he did, and it was a great pass pattern in there. He had one guy at the top of the screen that ran everyone off, and you run someone underneath, and we're in the chase mode trying to run him down. It was a good design.
Ball out to the 40 after the 20-yard pickup. Presley playing a big role early in the running game and the receiving game for Tulsa. Give here goes to Dominic Richardson, and he is blown up by Nate Mitchell. Richardson has stops at Oklahoma State, Baylor, and briefly at New Mexico State in spring ball. He goes for 6 on the first down run.
Well, you can see him pouring in there. There's a nice big hole right in the middle there. Look how fast Nate came in there to close. Last week he would play very, very fast. Doing the same again. It was a big hole there.
Tulsa will rotate running backs. They're going to play at least 3. Richardson, Presley, as well as A.J. Allen. Finding a hole here is Presley, who had 7 carries for 46 yards in the opener, but only has 20 career carries overall. This tempo right now posing some problems for the Aggie defense. Pump fake by Francis goes the opposite direction to Booker. Wrapped up right away by cornerback Josiah Charles after a 9-yard pickup.
You know, Kirk's standing back there, and there's not a lot of pressure on there, and he's delivering a perfect ball in there, so we got to figure out a way to get to him faster so he can't just sit back in there and pick us apart.
Tougher catch that time for Booker, but he reels it in. He had a team-high 6 catches a week ago, and that's good enough for a Tulsa first down.
Boy, when Kurt gets that ball, he is throwing that thing so fast. It's just snap, snap, boom, deliver it.
You can tell he's very comfortable in this offense with his first-year head coach. Not his first year in the program, though. 3rd season at Tulsa for Francis, who is a former walk-on. Earned a scholarship after his freshman year. Started the first 6 games a year ago for Tulsa. Started 7 games last year overall, and that pass is on the turf. Mishandled there by Micah Tees, the Texas A&M transfer. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, I think the Aggies all over that one. They saw that forming right away and close as fast as possible to break that up. If that ball is delivered a little bit up, we get a pick there, and that's off to the races.
Aggies had 1 pick a week ago. It came late. Jacoby Campbell, the redshirt freshman from Florida, had the interception. Aggie defense also had a forced fumble a week ago, but could not recover it. So 1 forced turnover last week. Empty backfield for Francis. Going to the sideline, had a man, but it could not be caught. Incomplete, intended for running back A.J. Allen. Well, this very well could be 4-down territory for Tulsa. Right now the ball is at the 32. It depends on what happens here on a 3rd and 10. Pistol back is Richardson. Tight end Foley in motion. In goes to Richardson, who finds a hole. Lowers the shoulders before he's blasted by Josiah Charles. He gets up to the 26, so he picks up a half dozen. And it's big-time decision-making time here for first-year head coach Trey Lamb.
Yeah, I think they didn't even bat an eyelash, and it's going to it on 4th down. I think getting through that defensive line, they're really blowing through that first level, and that's creating the problems right there. So that defensive line has got to somehow gain separation and get to the ball carrier. Here, we just need pressure on the quarterback.
4th down for Tulsa. Front side pressure, batted down, incomplete. Turnover on downs again. So already early on in quarter 1, the Aggie defense matching what they did a week ago.
Man, that's a great job on the defense.
Last week, turnover on downs twice for the Bryant offense. First quarter with 8:12 left. Turnover on downs twice already for the Tulsa offense. Big matchup tonight here in non-con play.
2024 to that list as well. Let's flash back to week 2 against Liberty. New Mexico State was up big time over the Flames until they gave up 21 points in the 4th quarter alone. Of course, that resulted in New Mexico State's loss. So looking for history to not repeat itself this time around, New Mexico State has implemented a buzzword this week, which was discipline. They look to play a disciplined game on both sides of the ball for all 4 quarters in order to hopefully get over that late game hump this time around.
Thank you, Kelly. First touch of the season moments ago for 6th-year player Lorenzo McMillan in his 6th year in the program. Handoff here goes to Kadarius Callaway. New Mexico State, Danny, trying to improve what we saw in the running game a week ago.
Yeah, they're certainly going to it. And Malik Williams went from right tackle to left tackle, and looks like they're trying to get behind him right there. But there's just a lot of support in there from Tulsa everywhere. But that they just got to stay with that, and it's important that front line fires out and gives us an opportunity to run one of those backs in that hole.
3rd and 4 coming up for Logan Fife, the veteran quarterback in his first year on the program. He was under heavy pressure again, but this time he's able to find Donovan Fappel for a first down, and he had to get rid of it quickly.
Yeah, he certainly saw here it is right here. You see the blitz right up the middle there. They're going to put pressure on him all night. He stood in there as long as he could to deliver the ball, and it was enough to make the first down. That's very tough for a quarterback because you know you're going to get hit, and you still have to deliver a good ball.
First Aggie first down today. There's been 5 Tulsa first downs, but nothing to show. A bend but don't break model right now for the Aggie D. Roll out right 5, throwing it off balance, has a man. Fappel again, 2 straight grabs for the native of Riverside, California.
You know, the minute he bounced outside to keep that play alive, I saw Pal going across the middle. It was a deep route across the middle, and he just continued deep on there. So you see him bounce it outside right there. There's Pal crossing the screen right there at the bottom. He comes open, gets behind everyone. Great ball on the run, but all for naught.
Couple early penalties. This one, illegal formation for the Aggie offense. A week ago, New Mexico State was penalized 8 times. I know Tony Sanchez, of course, wanted to clean that up. So many new faces in both programs. 55 Aggie newcomers. Meanwhile, the Golden Hurricane with 56 newcomers in Tulsa. They fake the jet sweep, and that's the tight end Gavin Harris, who was open, low throw, and he couldn't find his footing either. He was a key target a week ago, 3 catches for 44 yards. That one drops incomplete.
It was a great design. You have a fake off to the right where you're going to set up kind of a bubble screen to the right. Everyone runs that way, and you're going to come to the screen to the bottom, to the left, and we just couldn't get the throw, but it was open, and it was going to go.
Second down and long for Logan Fife, the grad student from Tracy, California. Started his career at Fresno State, then he went to Montana. He's in his 6th year collegiately, playing in his 40th career game here tonight. He fakes the handoff, and it was read well by Ty Cooper, the native of Louisville in Mississippi. He was with Tulane during spring ball, and right now, Logan Fife, everywhere he looks, there's somebody in his face, Danny.
Yeah, there's nothing he could do right there, right? So he can't even elude him or try to sneak away. He was on him as he was trying to ride that option read and just couldn't do it.
They're down at 24. You might see the Aggies go conservative here and run the football. Let's see. Dijon Stanley at running back came in for Callaway. 4 out wide. The tight end Harris lined up slot left. Fife's just going to run it straight up the middle. He's going to follow his offensive line, and he got past the original line of scrimmage. He gets past the 40 up to the 42. He gains 14 in the scramble.
Well, that's going to help when you flip the field on your punt there. But you end up with a situation where you have the line of scrimmage right there, defensive line of scrimmage, and you have no one on the second level. They're all back deep waiting to make sure you don't get it. So it allows him, if he can just break that line of scrimmage, which he did, he can get some medium yards to allow him just get the punt off, flip the field.
Second punt tonight for Australian punter Max Dean. Both punters in this game from Australia. Dean had a great opener. Had a long of 54, averaged 46 a punt, and he sends a good one to Zion Booker inside the 15. 14-yard line is where the Tulsa offense will have their 3rd series. They've been moving the football, but 0 points to show so far.
You're back on your opposing team or the enemy.
Francis will pull it and throw, and Nate Mitchell blasting wide receiver Jacob Emmers.
And
boy, is he fun to watch.
He is fun, and part of my discussion with Coach Morris was that, hey, you know, you guys are playing so fast. What is it that's helping you do that? And it's this OODA loop. He's got to get through it faster and put the pressure back on the offense.
Francis was looking for Micah Tees on the far side. Nick Session in coverage. 3rd and 9 coming up for Tulsa.
You know, and he says if by doing this, it allows the athletes to meet split decisions, and you'll need to do that with Tulsa because they're going to go tempo, 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 and you can see it's taking place, and he's doing quite well. Way to go with the OODA loop, Coach.
Kirk Francis taking some time here, the team captain. Redshirt sophomore from Tulsa. 17 career touchdown passes for Francis. On a 3rd down, his pass had a man, incomplete. Emmers was open. Zedekiah Rodriguez-Brown thought he could have had a pick right there as well.
Yeah, I thought it was really close. He could have just a little bit more. He may have been able to get that. Lots of pressure, great coverage on that. That's a great series by that defense that's playing very fast, and they're going to have to stay with that the entire game.
Well, it gives us a chance to see Australian punter Angus Davies, who had an 80-yard punt a week ago for Tulsa. 80 yards. Flag comes in. The punt was good, but
I think they jumped.
they'll have to redo it.
Yep.
False start. Offense. Number 24. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Matt Overton is our referee this week. Tulsa had a lot of offensive highlights a week ago, but that punt was as good as any of those offensive highlights, especially if you like special teams. Davies standing in dangerous territory in the end zone. TJ Pride to return this line drive kick. Pride running far side of the field, and he will high step out of bounds near the 40. So this gives the Aggie offense their best chance of the day. You need to capitalize on this field position right here, Danny.
Yeah, certainly do. TJ Pride, that's a great job right there. Your job is to field that punt. Don't let it run 80 yards like they were able to get a punt last week. In this case, he was able to field it, get upfield, hold your ground in plus territory. Now's the time, Adam.
Just a 39-yard punt. Longest return this year for Pride. It goes for 8 yards as you get a look at Tony Sanchez, who's trying to go to 2-0. They thought they had it a year ago, blew a late lead against Liberty, led by 9 with 5.5 left, which would have given them a 2-0 start. Likely completely changed the rest of the season after that game. They will scrimmage from the 41 of Tulsa with Kadarius Callaway at running back. They fake it to Callaway. Fife unloads. Single coverage. Incomplete. Flag comes in. Intended for Jackson Owens.
Man, Jackson Owens, he ran a great route, a post route in there. Receiver to the defender to the back of him.
Number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
The defender to the back of him, so you want to lead him just a bit, and he jumps on his back right there. That's easy call for the referee out there. And in terms of delivering the ball, it was max protection. A lot of guys in there defending Logan so he can get that pass off.
You like to see offensive coordinator David Yost taking a shot right there. Ball is now at the 26. It was on Champ Lewis, who's a transfer from TCU. Nowhere to go there for Callaway, who is spun down. That running game a week ago for New Mexico State, they only averaged 2.4 per rush. Their best running quarter by far came in the 4th, especially when Callaway started to get more touches and ran the ball effectively down the stretch.
Yeah, you know, this the way that it's set up right now, I'd like to see more attack on the running back front and not as much of a read. It's like just hit the hole and get what you can.
Callaway stays in at running back. Harris, the tight end, was in motion at wide receiver. Swing pass hauled in by Callaway, slips, then he pops back up. There is some laundry on the far side of the field. We'll check on the flag after the nice effort, a second effort for the running back Callaway.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that's the second one of those illegal formation penalties. And this is really what kills these drives. The first series, they had a drive-killing penalty, and the same with the second. And now we're here in the third, good position. And these are silly ones. These are penalties that you should clean up a formation, an alignment. So that's the first thing you do and teach is get out there, get the correct alignment. It was a great job running the ball, though, once he got it out to him.
Aggies behind the chains now. Lucas Unger, the tight end, lined up on the right side of the formation. Double tight end set with Unger and Harris. Tunnel screen to Johnson. Heavy traffic. Trying to motor his way back to the original line of scrimmage. And he's going to be about a half-yard shy of that original line. So 3rd down and 10.5 coming up.
Well, I like the offensive calls in terms of moving the ball around, doing different things. You got a wheel route in there. You're going to throw some tunnel screens. You're going to spread it out a little bit. And that's going to help Logan Fife buy a little bit time in the backfield.
Line to gain is the 16. Of course, the Aggies are in field goal range, so a good chance at points no matter what happens here unless Fife got sacked. Needs to avoid that. 3rd and 11. Clock is approaching 2 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Quick pass goes to Stanley. Was running backwards initially and then gets bumped out of bounds. No gain on the play.
I think that's the safe call, right? So when in doubt, you're just going to dump it out to your guy, get as many yards as you can, positive yards. We didn't get any in that case. But it's safe, so you're not trying to get in a situation of forcing it down, potential interception. Give your team a chance to get some points on the ball. on the board. I didn't look like Coach Sanchez was too happy right there.
Logan Fife still searching for rhythm. Ryan Hawk had a good rhythm kicking field goals a week ago. This one from 45 yards away for Hawk, and it is good. He had a great camp. Transfer from Valpo. Was all conference a year ago in the Pioneer Football League, and he's just trying to continue that long line of really, really good Aggie kickers going back to 2017 during that Arizona Bowl team.
You know, when I was talking to Coach Sanchez at this week, you know, he was talking about all things we need to clean up. We got to clean this up. It's true. There was things to clean up for sure. But then during the talk, I said, hey, Coach, how about that kicking team? He's like, was that not just fantastic? That you get points. You know, did he want 7? Of course. But if you can get to this point of the field, this part of the field, and get 3 with a 45-yard field goal, then you'll take it. Great kicking special teams.
Pretty big difference right now in stats. Tulsa, 86 yards of offense. New Mexico State, only 32. But if you're just joining us, the Aggie defense has turned over Tulsa on downs twice. And now New Mexico State strikes first on a Ryan Hawk. 46-yard field goal. It's about 45.5. They'll officially give him that yard and call it a 46-yarder. Danny, it totally changes things when you have a lot of confidence in your kicker, right? I mean, we've seen that when the Aggies have had the likes of Dylan Brown, Ethan Albertson, Abraham Montaño.
Yep.
When you trust that kicker, it should help the offense a little bit.
Yeah, I think you get to a position where you're like, okay, so the thing that we're in field goal position, and you mentioned it, it's like, let's not do the silly things like don't get caught for penalties, don't get caught for sacks, because it takes your points off the board. And those are points that you can just say, yeah, absolutely, let's get those points and be done, and not even think twice about it. That really bodes well for your strategy.
Aggies are looking for their first 2-0 start since 2014. Tulsa looking for their first 2-0 start since 2015. First down run for Dominic Richardson, who is hit first by Tyler Martinez, who's had to navigate an interesting week. Had a hand injury early on third quarter a week ago. Thought he would need surgery, which would force him to miss 2 games. Then he finds out Tuesday morning, Danny, it's non-surgical. He can club up and play. It's great to have Martinez in there. It was dicey on Monday if he would miss a couple weeks or not.
Yeah, it's great to have him back. He had a great game for a half a game last week. He's really heart and soul in there.
Stretch handoff to Presley, trying to bounce it to the edge. He can't get by Jamal Thompson Jr., who was the star on defense a week ago. Team high 9 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a couple of sacks a week ago.
Yeah, Jamal stays out there, and he just doesn't let anyone get the corner on him and brings him down. What a great game he had last week. You know, big game where he had 9 tackles. What did he have? 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. We need him to show up again and do the same.
A lot of those stats a week ago came in the first 2 quarters. Francis back to throw on a third down. Great coverage. DK Hobbs with the deflection, then a late flag came in after the play. The coverage looked good initially.
Yeah, let's take another look right here. He'll come across the middle of the screen there. DK Hobbs on the defense.
Number 8. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
I didn't notice the number 8, the number there, but certainly that's the penalty where they called it on. It was on DK on that coverage. I thought the coverage looked pretty good, Adam.
Yeah, I think they were calling it on Hobbs, but it's hard to see those jerseys when they're bunched up. So DK wears 3.
There you go.
It was a late flag that came in after the play, and Hobbs not happy about it. So it helps extend this drive for Tulsa. Aggies will sub in some fresh bodies before Tulsa starts this play with 16 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Dominic Richardson erupted for a 57-yard touchdown run a week ago. He's a power back with speed. He's hard to handle. Tulsa will not run another play before the end of quarter one.
Teams, and they're evenly fought matches, kind of like what we have tonight.
Now Tulsa in the American Conference. New Mexico State, of course, in Conference USA. Reverse. Emmers with the football. Almost a huge loss on the play. He's blasted out of bounds by Nate Mitchell, who had a very good first quarter. Aggies almost got to Emmers deep in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, that's DK Hobbs back there. He read that thing, snuck under a block. If that block wasn't there, he would have had a 15-yard sack or tackle for loss. But they ended up just barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. Good read.
So it stays 3rd and 3. In quarter one, Tulsa 1 for 4 on a 3rd down, 0 for 2 on 4th down. And here they capitalize on a 3rd down, and they continue to push the pile. Big boy football up close. Dominic Richardson was the man who carried the football there, and he picks up 7 yards. He just kept on churning those legs.
He did, and the battle is going to be fought in the trenches. The team that wins the offensive-defensive line of scrimmage has got this game.
Jet sweep. Aggies stringing out. And a tackle from behind is made by Martinez, who wraps up the A&M transfer, Micah Teagues.
A good read by Tyler Martinez. He comes screaming in there really quick. I did talk to Coach Morris about it, and Coach Hensley, his coach, and they just can't say enough positive things about Tyler Martinez and what he does for that linebacker core.
Gain of only 2 on the play for Teagues, who previously played at Texas A&M, former high school 4-star recruit. And Aggie defensive line continues to play well. There's Ezra Christensen, who had a really good first game as an Aggie a week ago, a transfer from Fresno State.
Well, there's the first break in the line of scrimmage right there. Ezra sneaks in there, defeats his block, and is able, standing in the backfield with the ball is being really handed off, and just disrupts everything. That's tough right there. When you get that good pressure, it just blows plays up.
2 running back look right now for Tulsa alongside the quarterback, Kirk Francis. Presley in, so is Richardson. They'll motion out Presley. Francis, a designed run. Alpiu clips him. The Aggies were not fooled one bit. Sone Alpiu making big tackle after big tackle here in half one.
Well, Coach was talking about the identification of the play and making quick decisions and forcing it on them. Watch how fast this decision is made by Sone, who comes screaming in right there. He saw what was happening, and acted precisely. He's just that silent assassin, man. He's just tough.
TJ Pride back deep, had an 8-yard punt return earlier. Davies trying to place this one well for Tulsa. There was a successful fake punt a week ago for Tulsa. And Pride, with 4 Golden Hurricanes surrounding him, handles it cleanly. That has to be nerve-wracking. So the Aggies are pinned deep after a 38-yard punt for the Australian, Angus Davies. Aggie offense will start at the 5-yard line. Logan Fife on the edge of the end zone. Aggies need to find a way to establish the run. The give goes to Dijon Stanley right here. So it's been Stanley, Callaway, and then a touch for Lorenzo McMillan so far in the backfield.
Yeah, those yards are hard to come by between tackle. I think our biggest is movement out the outside, but you can't just give up on that. You still got to penetrate in there. Now they're just trying to get some yardage to get away from the end zone.
Only 78 rushing yards for the Aggie offense a week ago. Right now they're sitting at 22 here in half one tonight. Hand off again, nowhere to go. Shoestring tackle made by the freshman Hudson Ball out of Springdale, Arkansas. He's off to a good start to his collegiate career.
You see the read right here from the backside. They see that coming right there. There's a missed tackle. Armando just let him slide underneath him, and he got in the backfield to disrupt that.
Loss of 1 on the play, so after a 2-yard run, a negative 1-yard run, and now it's 3rd and 9. Sean Brown, the wide receiver, in motion. Aggies need to be careful inside their own end zone. Fife gets rid of it. He's hit as he throws. Still completes it, though, to P.J. Johnson. Quick release. Third catch for PJ in half one.
Did that ball seem like it was just like forever out there? I don't know if it got tipped or if how he delivered it or something else. Let's just see right there. He's got to get rid of the ball quickly. Lots of pressure. They hit his arm, and it just hung up there. That's a great job, though. If you get your arm hit and you're still able to complete that for a first down.
Right around that armpit area there for 5, and he stayed composed and threw a dart. He'll roll left, eyeing downfield, rolling right, trying to escape pressure, signaling to his wide receivers, and then wisely sidesteps out of bounds after picking up a couple.
The scramble drill. Receivers, when they see that happening, they break their route and try to get to open space. In this case, they had 3 receivers downfield. They went vertical, trying to find something. There wasn't enough there that he felt comfortable with. He did the smart thing. Just take whatever yards you get, run out of bounds.
4 out wide on 2nd and 8. Aggies with a 3-0 lead early on here in quarter 2. 5 looking left. A lot of space here for the running back, Dijon Stanley, who's clipped out of bounds at the 36. You just want to get Stanley in space, Danny, and let him operate.
Let him go, right? Part of what they're seeing right here is pressure. So you have five men rushing, which means you have 2 safeties that everyone else is playing man underneath. If you break someone free, they can go off to the races like we just saw right there. I think Tulsa continues to bring 5 people. You got 4 down linemen, and they always will bring a linebacker or a safety as you see it kind of creeping up in there.
16-yard explosion for Stanley. 5 gets rid of it and whistles it towards his sideline. When you go back to Stanley's days at Utah in those 2 years, Danny, he was actually used more in the passing game than the running game as a running back. So he's comfortable catching the ball out of the backfield.
You know, when I spoke with Coach Cobb, he did say both these guys can catch. And when he was telling me that, I made a note saying, oh, we got to get more to those guys out of the backfield, get them the ball, and let them get some extra yardage in there. Because that's very tough when you're in the secondary not knowing what he's doing coming out of the backfield.
Lucas Unger, the former Stanford Cardinal, is the tight end. Quick release near side, blown up. Sean Brown, the intended receiver, blasted by Lento Smith Jr., a transfer from D2 Power Ferris State, where he won a national title a year ago.
Logan's got help just a little bit. So, yes, they saw it coming, but you can throw a move on the guy and potentially get some extra yardage after catch. But if you don't throw the ball, if you throw the ball in the dirt, he just can't get to the ball, and it gets blown up like it did. He's missed a few of those tonight, Adam.
3rd down and 10, running back Callaway. New Mexico State 2 for 5 on 3rd down. That pass is batted down, almost picked. Ray Coney, the linebacker, was trying to snatch it one-handed. There's been, I think, 3 balls tipped at the line so far here tonight for this Tulsa D.
Yeah, that was a tough series for the offense. And if you look at the defensive line, you'll see Fort coming with a blitzing linebacker. That has been the case every single series. They have not been able to just get the ball out. Part of that is because you have 5 people coming in from different angles, different stunts, putting so much pressure on Logan.
Punter back is Max Dean. Return man deep is Zion Booker, who calls for a fair catch. The word that Tony Sanchez used after last week was sporadic on offense, and to tell true so far tonight is
Of collegiate ball first. He then transferred to Old Dominion before heading to Cal, to of course here to New Mexico State. We saw him with the Aggies' lone touchdown last week. And another interesting tie for you is Callaway came in ahead of fall camp. He came in after the departure of Dominic Richardson. Richardson, the guy in the backfield for Tulsa here tonight. So a tie between both running backs' room, and more specifically between Callaway and Richardson.
good stuff, Kelly. It's so hard to keep track of it all, and you try to go back to the dates of when somebody went in the portal, when somebody left. It's hard to figure out. Kirk Francis, the quarterback, that was tipped by Tyler Martinez on the far side of the field, and Mekhi Miller, the intended receiver.
I think he tipped that with his free hand, not the club hand right there, but that's a great job. And the job he has to do is get between the receiver and the quarterback. That's what he's fighting to do right there. And when he's able to get close enough, he can tip that away. That's a great read right there by Tyler.
Francis can't complete the pass. Zedekiah Rodriguez-Brown with a pass breakup. Receiver that could not handle it was Josh Smith, the redshirt freshman from Heartland, Texas.
You know, thinking about our secondary this year, Adam, and you look at how they play compared to last year, that would have been a first down. We just didn't make the plays. We got guys close to the areas, but just not making the plays. This year, the guys are making the plays. They're getting there and getting the job done. That's been the difference so far.
So another punting situation for Tulsa. That one barely gets away, and it's a boomer again for Angus Davies. There is a return for Pride, but shimmies ahead for maybe one or two. Didn't have a whole lot of space on that return, and we'll see Logan Fife in the Aggie offense once again. One more note going back to Tyler Martinez, Danny. I was talking to Tony Sanchez Monday night, and that was the day before they found out Tyler would not have to get surgery and could play this weekend. So as of Monday night, Tony thought he was going to be out 2 games. He said Tyler was in the film room for 5 hours that day because he was trying to learn the Tulsa offense to help out his teammates as an extra coach on the field. So that speaks to Tyler Martinez right there.
Yeah, as the heart and soul, he is the leader there. As they're doing their walkthrough, as you were pointing out to me before the game started, it's Tyler that's leading the group. He's doing a great job with that defensive team.
Gavin Harris in motion. The aforementioned Kadarius Calloway trying to plunge forward. He gets forward for maybe 1 yard. You know, we talk so much about the transfer portal, and how about a guy like Tyler Martinez who has stuck around after 96 tackles, all conference honors a year ago. And he's really going to leave his mark on and off the field on this program.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Logan Fife, 5 for 10, 36 yards so far. No interceptions, of course, no touchdown passes either. Does a good job there of escaping pressure to connect with Callaway, who also has good hands out of the backfield, just like Stanley. 3-yard pickup.
He pulled that thing in there, and I want you to see the speed at which after he catches the ball, he turns it on. So right there, he turns it in another gear, and he picks up some quick yards right there. Very fast. I want to see him break one of those in the wide open.
This defensive line has been really good so far for the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. 6 transfers this year from 4-year universities on their D-line. And transfers that have played at previous schools, including some P4 programs. Fife on a 3rd down, hit as he throws. Fappel was coming back to it, but it was out of his reach. Good coverage there by Champ Lewis.
Tulsa clearly, his strategy is to put pressure on Logan and not let him sit back there. This last time they had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, so there was a lot of pressure. Not much you can do. Look at the line of scrimmage right there. Everyone is coming. He has to get rid of the ball fast. Back shoulder kind of throw to see if he can't break away. We just couldn't connect. Man, that's a lot of pressure on Logan.
Zion Booker is a dangerous return man for the Golden Hurricane. Here's the punt by Dean as Booker backpedaling inside the 10-yard line, and he almost gets taken down, stays on his feet, twisting around. Ball is loose at the 20-yard line. New Mexico State punched it away. Still no signal yet. It's going to be Tulsa football.
Well, that's tough right there. That could have broke free easily. And these punters, the thing about getting the ball out and kicking it so far, it gives the return guys enough chance to set up a run and look at where they want to go. We should be getting to make it a tackle there. We missed 2 tackles right there. There's the 3rd. Got to clean those up, but we were able to still get there and take him down.
Jacoby Campbell was right there, number 26 in black. He had the interception a week ago. He almost had a fumble recovery right there against Trey Lamb in Tulsa. There's a look at the Tulsa young head coach, 35 years old. He turns 36 later this month on September 16th. One of the youngest FBS head coaches around the country. Francis completes his pass to Mekhi Miller, who's had a busy first half. His 2nd catch here in half 1. 5-yard connection. This Tulsa offense got off to a really good start, but they've been really quiet since. Aggie defense turning Tulsa over on downs twice in the opening quarter. And it was early in the opening quarter. Francis can't get away. Pressure came from Ezra Christensen. And Francis almost got away and then slipped on the turf that could still be a little wet.
And look at Ezra right there beating his guy. He's just standing up saying, I just can't get blocked. And he hasn't. He has been in the backfield. It's a good thing he put a big paw on him and spun him around a little bit so he fell down and wasn't able to get free. But that pressure from Ezra has been fantastic. That's really helped that secondary.
Loss of 5 on the sack for Christensen. Aggie defense had 3 sacks a week ago. Francis unloads, and he has a first down with his backup tight end, Landon Lucas. FCS Robert Morris, his most recent school, his first catch as a Golden Hurricane. Quick tempo for the Golden Hurricanes. Slipping out of a tackle is Richardson. He gets to the 3rd level. And he's taken down by DK Hobbs. Well, you feel like, Danny, he was ready to break loose, and he does right there. And the Aggies have a player down in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, it's certainly, if you're not going to get there and make a tackle, it's going to be tough. He squirted through and got to the 2nd and 3rd level in a hurry. And part of that is tempo. So they came up to the line and quickly ran the ball. So that means you have to get set up on defense. There we can see who's down, which is unfortunate because he has really been putting pressure and holding his ground on that defensive line up there. But yes, he broke through that line and was off to the races in a hurry. It's a good thing we were there just to at least push him out of bounds or knock him down.
32-yard explosion on the run for Richardson. Christensen will go off with the help of the training staff, including Dominic Moreno, the head trainer, on the far side. Dominic Richardson a week ago had a 57-yard touchdown run, 20 carries for a $142, 7.1 per rush. And the Tulsa 35-7 win against FCS Abilene Christian. 3 years at Oklahoma State, 2 years at Baylor, injury-plagued season a year ago there, spring bowl at New Mexico State, and now closer to home, he's from Oklahoma City. Golden Hurricane will scrimmage from the 32, looking for their first points of the half after 35 a week ago. Francis had some time initially, now throws across his body to Presley, who had a good opening quarter. Gets a handful out to the 25, a pickup of 7.
You know, we're trying to get to Francis back in the backfield. Here they go, tempo again.
And too fast, false start.
Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, I think that's their first penalty is what I'm showing. Yeah, the tempo, The thing about the tempo is you go quick so the defense can't get set up, and sometimes you get going a little too quick. Let's see here. You can see at the tight end at the right of your screen jump before the snap.
Tempo doesn't always benefit the offense. Right there, penalty on Foley, the tight end, a transfer from Indiana. The pitch on the far side. Presley is belted. That is Armand Hale, the transfer from Kent State, who had a really good camp out of Akron, Ohio.
That is a great job by Armand right here. You'll see him come screaming up, but the important thing I want to point out there, see how he breaks down right there? So that back can't throw a little move on him, can't go wide on him. He broke down. He waits for the back to decide which way he's going. Then he steps up there to make that tackle. First is close quickly. He did that. Great tackle.
3rd and 12 from the 34 with 3 and change left. Bad snap. Francis throws it out of the reach of his receiver, Tees. But there is a flag down. I don't think that was catchable, Danny. That was nowhere near Micah Tees.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty right there.
Tony Sanchez, irate.
Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that is the second pass interference call on DK Hobbs. It was a bad snap initially, so Francis was just trying to unload, and Tease was the closest receiver to the football here.
Yeah, let's see. He gave him a little tug on the jersey there. Yeah, but it certainly was pressure on Francis. He just lots of pressure. He was just unloading the ball.
The Aggies penalized 5 times in this first half. Francis wasn't ready for the football. A flag comes in. New Mexico State trying to say they recovered. Francis wasn't ready for it. Tons of confusion right now.
There is
the
no
officials
play.
try to sort it
The
out.
offense was not set. This is a false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, he wasn't sure if that was a trick play or something, because they have been able to do, look at some trick plays and others. In this case, they were just going so fast, everyone wasn't set. You have 2 guys moving around. You see both the tight end and a running back in a moving position. No one is set before the ball is snapped, and so that's what they give.
So it's still going to be Tulsa football. The Aggie sideline thought they were going to have it. 1st and 15 for Tulsa with 3:10 left. 152 of total offense in this half of the Golden Hurricane, but still no points to show. Francis will flip it out for Richardson. Trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He has run for 64 yards in this first half. The big run was the 32-yarder on this drive.
Yeah, I think they come back here and you want to keep it on the ground. I think they're looking at making sure with 2:49 left, you're going to get points no matter what. Don't do anything silly by throwing it up and getting a situation where you get an interception. But keep it on the ground. Keep it safe. Well,
Richardson, the running back. Francis on a tunnel screen throws it to his wide receiver, Zion Booker, who I think ran into one of his teammates, or else he may have run it to the end zone right there.
Yeah. Safe call, safe pass, because you're going to dump it down quickly. If he drops it, no big deal. So it's just a quick drop off in there. Tunnel screen coming back. Missed a tackle right there. Big 3rd down right here, though.
I think Booker has a chance to find the end zone if he doesn't run into his teammate. 3rd and 4 from the 14. Francis across the middle, hauled in by Zion Booker. Aggies trying to yank the ball free. And it's going to be a first down for Tulsa. And that will take us up to the 2 minutes timeout. Tulsa driving from the 7. 1st and goal to go. Francis is going to pull it, and Francis is wrapped up.
Well, that's a bend, don't break right there, Adam, for sure. Part of what Coach Moore says, too, is yes, bend, don't break. We want to swarm and compete. That's their mantra. That's what they carry from week to week and from last year. And if Coach says, hey, team, do you want to change our mantra this year? It's like, absolutely not, Coach. We want to swarm and compete. So there they are right there. 3 hats swarming to the ball to compete. Bend, but don't break. Big second here.
Safety Nick Session with the tackle right there after the 1-yard run for the quarterback, Francis, who has thrown for right at 100 yards here in half 1. Trey Lamb wants to use some clock initially and then call a timeout and talk about it with his offense. Part of this, too, Danny, is you don't want to give Logan Fife in the Aggie offense, which has been sporadic in the first half, any time left to go down and get some points. So if you're Tulsa, you would love to be the last one to have the football in this half because you don't get it to start half 2. New Mexico State started our defense, so they will have the football to start half 2. And Trey Lamb trying to use some clock here and see if they can get a score and also use some clock in the process.
Right, and they're thinking 7, right? So, or, touchdown and an extra point for 7 and not just 3. So you want to be able to do that, but you don't want to give up scoring at all. If anything else, you have to get some points here, but they're thinking use the clock, all of it, get 7, get the ball back to the Ags with no time left on the clock.
2nd and goal from the 6. Tulsa moved the ball well early, but could not get points. Turned it over on downs twice in the opening quarter. Tulsa native Kirk Francis, the quarterback. Tight end Foley lined up wide left. Richardson, the running back, lined up as a wide receiver. Popped up in the air, intercepted in the end zone. Burnock Aya.
The old tip drill. We talked tip drill last week, didn't we? It's like ball goes in the air. That better be our ball. Aggies, big paw on the ball, tips it up in the air. It's the one thing that you could not have happen is throw a pick. So let's see what happens here. He has time, but the coverage is good. Is that Tyler with a big paw? He
using the club.
Now. He used the club in there. He got in there, and Burnock pulls down the interception. You know, earlier when I was talking on this drive, it's like, oh, you don't want to throw the ball because you don't want anything bad to happen. This is what happens when you throw the ball. Sometimes it gets picked, and that's a great job by that Aggie defense again.
Burnock from the small town of Azle, Texas, began his collegiate career at Texas State, then went to Tyler JUCO. Joe Morris calls him a swing guy who can play boundary safety and also nickelback. That run, that designed run with Fife, we've seen that twice, and it picks up some yards, a handful there for Logan.
Yeah, it's the 2-minute drill. This is one where you want to go down there, you want to make sure you protect the ball, don't turn it over, no mistakes, and try to get in range to maybe get a long field goal or something.
Slant route, Donovan Fapel with open space to midfield. So this drive started slow, now it picks up some steam.
Yep.
Timeouts left, and Tony Sanchez will burn one.
So you're trying to get down there in field goal position at least that, unless you get the ball to Donovan Fapel and he gets you way down the field, almost the plus territory. Now you have to rethink it. How many timeouts do I have? How much time on the clock? Yeah, 32 seconds. That's a lot of time. So now try to get in there and get a score, but you got to make sure you take care of the football. So let's take a look at it here. This time they only had 4 guys rushing. Every other time there's been 5. 4 guys identified. They got blocked. Runs a little quick kind of post across the middle, wide open. Great pass, great catch. Yeah, part of the difference there is that any other time on any other series, they've been rushing 4. It's kind of a late 5 guys, maybe 6. And that last time they had only 4 and dropped everyone back in coverage. And that gave Logan plenty of time to deliver a great pass.
Career-long field goal, Ryan Hawk, 51 yards. You probably need the 35-ish yard line to be in a good spot. Time left, 32 seconds left, 2 timeouts left for the Aggie offense. Fife will throw near side. Tangled up P.J. Johnson. And the Aggies are begging for a flag. They won't get it. In coverage, D2 transfer Lento Smith Jr.
Yeah, and that last play, they rushed 4, had a delay 5 guy come in there to give pressure. He tried to go back, shoulder fade to PJ, and he just got pushed down, actually.
Fife only uses 5 seconds, though, on the clock. Fife in the first half, 7 of 14 for only 64 yards. Threw for 227 a week ago. Stepping up, lost the football. Tulsa should have had it. Now they will get it. TJ Pride almost pounced on it. Tulsa grabs the football at midfield, and things get flipped with 18 seconds left.
Yeah, that's the other thing that you couldn't have happen. Interception or fumble, which is what happened here. Scrambled, pressure on him coming from the backside. Logan didn't even see him coming. Pops the ball out. We couldn't jump on it, and Tulsa gets the ball back with 18 seconds.
Jaden Burnett, the transfer from Louisiana Tech, forces the fumble. And Tulsa recovers. Now their field goal kicker, Seth Morgan, has a long this year of 40 yards. He struggled a bit in preseason camp. He'll need some yardage here. Quick throw, caught by Zion Booker into Aggie territory before he shoved out of bounds. Baylor Hayes is the new quarterback right now for Tulsa. So a different quarterback in right now for the Golden Hurricane. Hayes, the quarterback, replacing Francis right now.
Which is interesting because they went to Kittleman in the last week, and so Hayes coming in, getting his first look at action.
Yeah, Kittleman's been the backup for a while, 5th year at Tulsa, but it's not Kittleman, it's Hayes instead right here, replacing Francis late in half one. with 0 points for the Golden Hurricane. Hayes completes it. Running back Dominic Richardson. 36-yard line, 6 seconds left.
So if they can get another couple of 3, 4, 5 yards, I think they're in position. Although this is a long field goal, and both field goal kickers pre-game were kicking very long field goals. So certainly they want to stay in, get some more yardage. You got 6 seconds, so now you got to get it out there and get down, call that timeout immediately.
Clock management key right here for the backup Hayes. And he handles it well. That was well done by the backup coming in. He hooks up there with Booker. So scoots forward a little bit for the kicker, Seth Morgan, after a gain of 5 yards. And now you have to kick for Tulsa with 3 seconds left, trying to tie the score. This will be a season long for Seth Morgan, grad student out of Houston. Began his career at Sam Houston. Then he went to Memphis. Had some training camp struggles. This from 49 yards away. Out of the hold of the punter, Angus Davies. And Tony Sanchez says, I'm going to use a timeout here. You can't take it with you to the locker room. So a timeout was called before the kick, and Morgan will have to redo. Now, what you can't do anymore is call back-to-back timeouts. Now, in the old days, Danny, you could call 2 in a row and really freeze the kicker. They don't allow that anymore.
Yep. Didn't even see the timeout. I'm looking up at the goalpost saying, did he get it there or not? It wasn't his best. He was kicking a lot harder, crisper pre-game, but that certainly had enough oomph to get it in there. So now, get your kick block on.
Seth Morgan from 49 yards away. He pushed it. No good. Seth Morgan will kick off for the Golden Hurricane. A couple of running backs back deep for New Mexico State. That's into the wind. Callaway and Stanley, the return men. And Dijon Stanley will get up past the 20, but no further. And we're going to see the Aggie offense, which only accumulated 97 total yards in half one. Kelly had the chance to catch up with Tony Sanchez at halftime. Kelly, what did you find out?
Sanchez really didn't say much different than what we heard from him during halftime last week, where New Mexico State was up by a mere 9-3, or what he's been preaching all season. He knew his defense was strong this year, and they have showed that during that first half. However, he said he needs his offense to step up. Eventually, his defense is going to get fatigued if they continue to see majority of time out there, and again goes back to New Mexico State's run game. He is happy, however, with the production and physicality out of his tight ends. He does think that that is improved, but he just really says that it's a young O-line is going to be a cause of why their run game is stalling in this first half.
That's a good start. First catch of the night for TJ Pride, the top receiver a year ago as a true freshman. Jet sweep handoff, and taken down is PJ Johnson. So the Aggies trying to be creative on offense. Nowhere to go right there. Third down coming up here on the first drive in half two.
Yeah, I like the play call. I like the selection. We just missed a block at the point of attack there. You know, and back to Kelly's point, speaking with Coach Sanchez, it's that O-line. You're going to win and lose by that O-line. They need to start gelling and coming together and really start moving that defensive line.
Third down, 6 yards to go. 5-8 of 15 for 70 yards. He'll roll out left, and he throws incomplete. I think that was touched. There was a couple of balls deflected at the line in half one, and that one was well short, likely touched by a defender for Tulsa.
That's too bad because we're wide open in the pattern, and so somehow we got to figure out a way to get the ball to the wide open receivers. Here he is right here.
Yep.
Knocked
right there,
it
Ray
down.
Coney.
Yep.
Ray Coney's a long linebacker, 6'2", 240, transfer from East Tennessee State. Came over from East Tennessee State with head coach Trey Lamb. And this will take a nice bounce for Tulsa as it backspins at the 35-yard line. So you go back to halftime, Danny, and you're thinking if New Mexico State can generate some offense and potentially score a touchdown, you're looking at a 10-0 lead with your defense playing so well. Instead, just over a minute into this third quarter, you give the ball right back to Tulsa, and you continue to leave that door open.
Yeah, and that offense has got to come in there and really spell that defense. That series is really disheartening as you come in off, the half, and you have all these adjustments and plans, and you don't move the ball at all. That's just tough.
Question was, who would be the quarterback to start the third quarter for Tulsa? It is Baylor Hayes, who finished off half one, and Dominic Richardson is plowed right away. Nowhere to go for Richardson, who did have a run of 32 yards in half one, ran for 69 in the first two quarters.
Gabe Peterson, that's a tough one to run into. He's a stout end there and really shut that thing down, and it just quickly.
Pass is caught by the running back Richardson, but he is taken down. A shoestring tackle is made by Burnock Aya, who had the interception in the end zone in half one.
Well, he doesn't get that tackle, so a quick toss to the outside, trying to get him in open space to make something happen, and Burnock shut it down and said, it just doesn't matter because I'm going to take him down.
Hayes, the redshirt freshman quarterback, played in 2 games last year at FCS East Tennessee State. He was with Tulsa head coach Trey Lamb at East Tennessee State a year ago. Yards after the catch, Micah Tees, and Hayes continues to be accurate. He finished off half one, throwing it pretty well, Danny.
Yeah, he did. That was a good toss out there. Got Josiah Charles on coverage, and he just couldn't stay near him, and it just got some big yards after catch. That's too bad.
We'll pitch it out here to Richardson, who got by Martinez, but could not get by Alpiu. Player down initially on the far sideline for New Mexico State. Nick Sessions slow to get up. Training staff came out to check in on him. So this will slow down this Tulsa up-tempo offense, which right now is being quarterbacked by Baylor Hayes, the redshirt freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee.
It's all tempo. Quick toss to the outside, get the edge, get the corner, and go from there. And it's all tempo, and good thing there's an Aggie down on that, because then you come back to line of scrimmage and you're at it again.
The numbers were not poor for Kirk Francis, the starting quarterback at half one, but he did not generate any points. He went 13 of 23 through the air. Check down pass to Presley. Hayes isn't trying to do much, but right now he's moving the offense quite well.
Look downfield, trying to go for the deep ball. Everyone's covered. He quickly went to the underneath safe route back and still get some positive yards, and it's tempo again.
Golden Hurricane used Presley a lot early on in the game. Presley will take the handoff here. Gets to the second level where he's sent out of bounds by Burnock Aya. You do not want to see number one in space, 5'6", 170, blazing speed.
Yeah, in that last play, we had both Tyler and Sone trying to just take a bad angle in here. We got
Aggie
confusion.
defense wasn't ready. Players weren't even out there yet. Tony Sanchez saying, what's going on here? There's a flag down. Tulsa snapped the football. The officials let them. New Mexico State had half of their defensive line still running on the field.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players or more. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Tony Sanchez trying to figure out why he wasn't given enough time to substitute there.
Correction, the penalty results in a first down.
That you probably see fairly often when you're a defense going up against a tempo offense.
Yeah, that's the objective, right? So get us to do something that you don't normally do quickly, and in this case, not getting everyone off the field.
Tulsa has been unable to finish drives. Hayes will tuck it and run. Baylor Hayes, far sideline, trying to sneak inside the pylon, and he is in. A scramble for Hayes, who runs it in, and Tulsa has their first points of the game.
So here he is here. back, fake. I'm not sure that he meant to even throw the ball. It looked more like a draw than anything because he dropped that thing, pulled it down quickly, and got out in open space in a hurry and get across that goal line.
Kind of juggled the snap initially as well, but navigated well and found the pylon with Nate Mitchell screaming towards him. You knew it was only a matter of time before Tulsa would be able to get some points. They've been able to move the football at times pretty well. Point after is good for Morgan, and New Mexico State's defense in the third quarter in game 2 gives up their first touchdown of the season. That young man has been a spark plug. The redshirt freshman out of Brentwood, Tennessee, in a reserve role gives Tulsa a lead. Seth Morgan kicking into the wind, so there could be a return. There was one earlier, and this one, was it inside the pylon? It was. Aggies will have it at the 35-yard line. It's a penalty flag because of the kick out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So you're getting some breaks if you're the Aggie offense. You've had some pretty good field position at times as well because of the defense. And at some point, Danny, you need to see some consistency, and we just haven't seen it so far in the first 6+ quarters of football this year.
And when I spoke with Coach Canova, who is the offensive line coach, I think it was his concern is that all these guys haven't played together. They're not gelling. Well, if there's ever a time to start gelling, it would be now.
Now they're playing from behind for the first time this year. Pass is complete out to the 40-yard line. Jackson Owens, his first catch tonight, his second this year. Just need some simple passes, some simple pass and catch plays. Have the offensive line give Logan Fife some time to throw.
And those quick throws are tough to defend too because you're out so fast.
Only 3 receivers right now for the Aggie offense. Brown in motion. Callaway the running back. Fife has time to throw. It is batted up in the air and then dropped in front of Fapel. And that time, Fife had some time to throw. It's just covered well by the defense for Tulsa.
Yeah, I think Tulsa was there in his zone coverage. It looks like you're doing kind of a crossing pattern across the middle. You see all the receivers crossing each other right there. And it just needed to be a half a count faster because they were ready for him.
Zach Williams, the safety out of Tyler, Texas, in coverage for the Tulsa secondary. Aggie offense 2 for 8 on third down today. A big 3rd and 5 early on in half 2. Fife hooks up here with Donovan Fapel. It'll depend on the spot, and it looks like the spot is good for the Aggies, and it is enough for a first down.
Wow, big first down right there. So who do you go back to? You go back to Donovan. He's been your guy you've gone to get that big catch, those big plays, and so that was one right there to move the sticks and keep them running.
Fapel, the junior, had 2 catches for 30 yards in half 1. He had 5 catches for 99 yards a week ago. And Fife throws that ball out of bounds. So 2nd down and 10 coming up. P.J. Johnson was the nearest Aggie to that throw by Fife. No interceptions in half 1 for Fife, but there was a fumble. Although Tulsa could not turn it into points to finish off the half. Looking for a big play here on 2nd down and 10. Slant, Fapel. That's been open a couple of times here today, Danny. Gain of 9, just shy of a first down.
Well, he's running some good patterns, and if you back off him or stay behind him, he's going to run those slants, those quick plays there. And those are just tough to defend once that receiver gets position on the defender like he has. And Donovan's made some great catches, great throws too. Quick tosses, quick passes, so it's not, back there sitting waiting.
Isaiah Ruddison just came in at running back. The Aggies with the tush push, if you will, trying to push the pile. Let's see where they spot the football. Might need a measurement right here. On 3rd and 1, likely 4-down territory regardless. The Aggies are saying we got the first down. Tulsa's saying we held. Let's see where they spot the football. I'd be stunned if Tony Sanchez didn't go for it. That is just a little bit shy of a yard left for a first down. New Mexico State Did not go for it on 4th down a week ago. First try here tonight. This is big boy football. The push, second effort. Looks like a pretty good spot initially for the line judge. Helmet came loose for a golden hurricane. This is where you win the short yardage situation in the offseason in the weight program with Eric Klein, the strength and conditioning coach for New Mexico State. Give him a +1 right there because the big boys pushed ahead.
Twice. You run it twice with confidence that you can run it again for the second time and get the first down. That's just a big rugby scrum there, and that's just tough running.
In the trenches right there, Danny.
Yeah, it's really not running. It's more like just leaping or just lunging.
Tight end is Harris, running back, who takes the handoff Callaway and just didn't have a lot of time to make a move. So he is taken down right away by Jaden Burnett. A helmet comes loose for an Aggie. Sean Brown will have to go off for a play, and TJ Pride will come in for him.
Yeah, they're still trying to run behind Malik Williams, their number 78, playing that left tackle, and they just couldn't get his guy and contain him, and he was able to penetrate and just blow up the play before it got going.
28 rushing yards before that run, so now 27 rushing yards for the Aggie offense. And they struggled running the football a week ago as well. And that is incomplete. Kadarius Callaway was twisted around as Logan Fife was trying to hook up with him.
You know, in these close games where it's so tight like this, those are the passes that you have to complete. It's a quick toss, and you've got to figure out a way to get those completed so we can pick up some extra yardage to make it more an attainable 3rd down.
Callaway stays in at running back. Brody Malone, tall freshman, 6'5", wide receiver, bottom side of your screen here on 3rd and 11. Let's see if Fife looks his way. Fife looking right, throws right. Receiver comes back to it. Catch is made. That's Jackson Owens, his 2nd catch during this try.
That's confidence. That's timing on that. We're going to give him a little warning. Like, don't no excessive celebrating here. It's a comeback throw. Or a stop, back shoulder, and Jackson Owens just finds it perfect timing to turn around, get the ball, and pull it down.
Good precision by the veteran Fife for a gain of 20. Run pass option. Fife looking end zone. Fappel was tangled up with the defensive back for Tulsa. Might have had a step on him initially.
It looks like he got past the corner, but I think the safety was coming over top there. That was going to be a tough play right there. But I like that you're taking a shot at it, right? You got to start doing some of those things and start moving the defense out a little bit more. By doing some of those things, you're really creating it harder for the defense to say, well, if I'm gonna blitz or rush 4 or 5 guys, that leaves you in man coverage. It's very tough.
Running back Stanley, Brown in motion. Handoff goes to Stanley, who plunges ahead for 2 yards. Inside the 25 down to the 24. 3rd and 8. Player down for New Mexico State. That is B.J. Tolo, the lone returning starter on this almost brand new offensive line with first-year offensive line coach John Canova. So hopefully Tolo's okay. And Danny, you got to talk to Coach Canova a little bit this week.
I did, and I asked about that offensive line, and I just was just trying to share some thoughts on, well, how do we get the guys going? What do you see? And he said, here's what I see. I see that we got a lot of talent. We got a great room. Cannot get them to gel.
And right now, Tolo down, number 61 in black. We're back to Aggie Memorial after 4 minutes. So the Aggies will shake some things up on the offensive line. Florian Staler is going to be the left guard. Mateo Rodriguez, who had been at left guard, will shift over to right guard in place of the injured B.J. Tolo. 3rd and 8. Fife with time to throw. Lobs it near side. Caught by Fappel. Touchdown, New Mexico State. Precision from Logan Fife.
Adam, I think that's one of the no, yes, throw that all day long. Drop that down the pipes, and away we go. Donovan has just been lights out when we need him, and this was one of them. They're bringing lots of pressure on him. You can see all the pressure. Lots of guys back to protect him, and he just puts it, drops it on a dime. The safety's just a half a second late, and Logan made him pay for it.
And that throw right there is why Tony Sanchez has absolutely gone all in since spring ball on Logan Fife. An experienced throw. The Tracy, California native playing in his 40th career game. Drops a dime to Donovan Fappel. First touchdown this year for Fappel. His second career. Aggies back in front here in the third. Minutes and 30 seconds, and keep in mind too, the Aggies got better field position because the kicker Seth Morgan kicked the ball out of bounds to place the ball at the 35, and the Aggie offense puts together their best offensive drive of the night, and maybe their best offensive drive we've seen all season so far as well.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The kick by Ryan Hawk will go through the end zone, and we'll check in with Kelly on the field.
Yeah, if you're offensive coordinator David Yost, I can imagine you're probably feeling a wee bit better here in this third quarter. So far, we have seen New Mexico State put up 69 yards of total offense in addition to the one touchdown. That's compared to 97 yards of total offense in the first two quarters combined. And if anybody is able to revise some game plans on the fly, it is going to be Yost. He is a veteran coordinator who brings in Pac-12, Big 12, as well as SEC experience to the coordinator position. A highlight of his career is leading Mizzou to 8 Title Bowl games, as well as leading the program to as high as number 7 in the AP poll. He is someone who is coming into this program. We saw him make an impact in week 1. Week 2, we're seeing it come here a little bit later, but hey, sooner rather than later, hopefully, is what is going to be moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kelly. Nothing doing on this drive in the run game for Dominic Richardson, who's had a pretty good night with 77 yards before that run. Third down coming up for the Tulsa offense, Danny.
It looks like, you know, the legs on the defense, looks like they got a little spring in their step, and maybe that's because of the long drive that we just had. It allowed the defense to catch their breath and come back and ready to go. But we'll see. This is an important third down right here.
We haven't seen any freshman moments yet for Baylor Hayes, a redshirt freshman out of Brentwood, Tennessee, who's been sharp in the passing game. Empty backfield for Hayes. Brad Vislisell trying to run him down, and Hayes gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that is all. The transfer from Northern Iowa out of Mount Vernon, Iowa. Vislisell was all over the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Man, he had radar lock, and once he got it, he just stayed with it. That was an absolute awesome way of tracking a quarterback and running him down, not allowing him to throw the ball. Vislisell just did a fantastic job there. Look at the quick get in the backfield, get down the line of scrimmage, does not allow him to, get the ball off. That's a great job by that defensive line.
Vislisell and Ezra Christensen both there. Nice response by the Aggie defense. Davies barely gets it away. Fair caught. TJ Pry. Good field position coming up again for the New Mexico State offense. Danny, what did you like the most about that most recent drive with Logan Fife operating at the QB spot?
Well, I like that he threw the ball, passed it around. He had lots of time, so they gave him some time to go off and get these passes completed. And so that's what I really like, the composure with Fife. And some of those receivers just made some incredible catches.
And he gave the defense some rest. That drive covered almost 5 minutes. So the defense got to take a breather. And now the Aggie offense can really get some separation right here. Donovan Fappel's had another good night. That goes for 4 yards. A little more rhythm to the offense here later in the third.
And I know we've said we got to get the running game involved. Got to get the running game. Most important, you got to have to get the win. And if you can throw the ball and they're giving you these 4 or 5 yard passes, you have to take them. And that's as good as running the ball.
Aggies looking for their first 2-0 start since 2014. Dijon Stanley back alongside Fife. Stanley met right away by Coney, the linebacker. It's maybe a yard. Third down and mid coming up. The Aggies need the 48-yard line. Donovan Fappel posting some numbers early on this year. 5 catches, 63 yards tonight after 5 catches, 99 yards on a career day last weekend. The Aggies scored their touchdown earlier on a 3rd and 8. Tulsa showing pressure on 3rd and a handful. And 5 stays composed, and Fappel bulldozes past midfield. He ran over Zach Williams for an extra yard or 2 after a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, and I think he's looking at that first down marker and was like, where do I need to get? The composure 5 had, he knew that they were coming, and they did. You can see everyone coming to get him, and he just stood in there and tossed that ball to Donovan Fappel. A little crossing, a little slant. That's been open all day long. Great job by Donovan to get that first down.
Couple of big 3rd down conversions for 5 in the Aggie offense here in the 3rd quarter. Freshman Brody Malone was the man in motion. 5 will swing it out to Malone. 6'5" freshman wide receiver who had offer after offer coming out of high school. First catch tonight, 2nd catch this year for Malone.
Nice to get him involved, put his hands on the ball, get him in the open space. Big, tall guy, big target. Right, so easy to get the ball out to him. Nice hands. He pulls that thing down quite easily.
2nd down and a handful after the reception for Malone. This is Pride in motion. Aggies haven't used him a ton yet this year. First catch for Gavin Harris tonight. And the transfer from Central Michigan will move the sticks.
And once you get to that offensive line, it's like, okay, we can't hold them. We have to start figuring out other ways we can do it. You can do some quick passing, some slants. The other thing you do is screen, right? So you let them through, dump the ball over top. Nice setup. That's a good call by Coach Yo saying, look, you guys got through, dump it over top, go get the first down.
Harris a week ago was one of Logan Fife's main targets. Fresh set of downs. The Aggies will scrimmage from the 37. Let's see if they take a shot right here on 1st and 10. 5 back to throw. Gets by a Golden Hurricane. Flag comes down, and 5 will angle out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Aggies penalized 6 times so far tonight.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That was a misidentified number again by our referee tonight. That's our 76, Armando Nieves, junior out of Phoenix, who transferred in this year from Hutchinson JUCO.
He's had a tough go of it in his first start. That's his 2nd penalty. He's out there, man. He's trying to make a difference, and so I applaud him for that.
Tough test for this offensive line against a very good Tulsa D-line tonight. Aggies trying to extend their lead with just over a minute left here in the 3rd. 5 had to get rid of it quickly, and it's a diving, incomplete pass that the receiver Fappel was trying to reel in. It wouldn't have gone for much anyway, so no harm done.
I think they're going to just keep the pressure on Logan. The more this game proceeds, I think the more people they're dialing up from different angles to come get Logan, because they know if he stays back there and he has time, he will find the receivers.
2nd and long. Pass is complete, almost near the first down marker. check that, TJ Pride on the catch. Couple yards shy of a first down.
Again, they're bringing 5 people in there. You have to leave someone back there to pick up all of the extra people coming. Dump the ball off to TJ Pride, dumps it to outside there. Great pass.
Aggies needed 23. They get 21. This could be 4-down territory potentially. Right now it's 3rd and 2. 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Isaiah Ruddison with his first carry of the season, only his 2nd career rush, and he gives the Aggies a first down.
Key first down, so Coach Yo says, let's bring in someone new. Certainly they're not looking for the new guy coming in.
Together we can end DWI. First down and 10 from the 25 for the Aggie offense. Fife, right side, incomplete off the chest of his receiver. That was Jackson Owens, who's had a good half so far.
You know, we keep coming back to that pass pattern, and I like it. I like it's a timing route to the back shoulder, and it was there. We just got to pull it down.
Number 37 in black had the 4-yard first down run to finish off the third quarter. He's a big back, 5'11", 220 out of El Paso. A motion to Fife's right. Fife will throw it to him. First catch for Ruddison. So he's making an impact, and he can do that in the running game and in the passing game. He's coming off a very good offseason, Danny.
Yeah, we've watched him in the offseason, and he's just gotten stronger and stronger. And if you can just look at him right there, he's a hoss. He's a load, but he can get upfield in a hurry, just like that last play, catch the ball, and get some extra yardage.
Gain of 7 for Ruddison. He's the running back. Will the Aggies put the ball in his belly here on 3rd and 3? Fife will throw. Great catch. I mean, that's a ball right there that a freshman just won against a veteran. Brody Malone, his second catch of the half.
Another big target at 6'5", and they're running that little slant route, so they kind of cross the receivers, and it's just a timing route. Good position. Got to have strong hands because that defense is right on your back. Look at the defense right there, and you've got to have strong hands. Great job pulling that down.
Aggies will scrimmage from the 11 on 1st and 10. Trying to get some separation early on in the 4th. Malone in motion. Fife is looking that way. Now he's going to tuck it in and run. No gain on the play. Danny, we go back to that third quarter. The Aggies had 116 yards of offense in the third, only 97 yards in the first half in total.
Yeah, you know, part of that, Adam, is that Logan's getting the ball out quicker. I think what happens is when you spread them out as much as we are, it means that you're going to end up being in a man coverage, and that lets that retooled wide receiver core do what they have been doing, making some great catches on some nice balls, all happening quickly.
Number 81 in black, Alan Ortiz, bottom side of the screen, a veteran. In motion is Callaway, and he has nowhere to go. A loss on the play, back to the 15, a loss of 4 to bring up 3rd and 14.
Yeah, you get in the red zone, everything gets harder, right? Everything gets condensed. There's not as much room in there. In that case, we try to get out on the edge, and we just couldn't get the edge. There's nothing happening with that. So now it puts us in a very tough 3rd down.
Trey Lamb is hoping his defense can hold New Mexico State to a field goal attempt. Tulsa down 3. Aggies need the 1 for a first down. They would like the end zone, though, for a touchdown. Running back is Ruddison. Fife with nowhere to go, and Fife is dropped for a sack, and now the field goal attempt gets even longer. Fife is dropped back at the 21. A loss of 6 on the sack, and Ryan Hawk will have to come out to attempt a field goal.
Yeah, that's too bad. You had a long, sustained drive in there. Let's watch that front offensive line, and you can see we get 2 guys in the backfield that leaked, and after that happens, there's nothing you can do with Logan but just protect the ball.
This will be a 38-yarder for Hawk. And Ryan Hawk stays red hot. Made a field goal in the first quarter from 46. This one officially a 38-yarder. You wanted 6, though, Danny. I mean, you were getting greedy. You only get 3. You wanted 6. Now the lead is 6 early on in the 4th here in week 2. 8 combined plays, which we did not see at all in half 1. Ryan Hawk will kick it off. It's going to be a touchback. So we're seeing progress, Danny, as the game goes on for offense.
And that was Coach Canova that you saw on the screen before him talking to that offensive line. It seems like they're making progress there. Clearly we're making progress because you had good sustained drives in there. Now you put it back on the defense. It's like, yes, it would have been great to have 7 there. We didn't. So now you have to protect the lead. Defense, you got to stand up one more time.
Kirk Francis started the game at quarterback for Tulsa. Redshirt freshman Baylor Hayes came in relief to finish off the first half, and he has played the entire second half so far. He has not thrown an incomplete pass yet. Hayes rolling out, And he completes this one as well. Micah Tees breaks a tackle. First down and more for Tees. There haven't been many explosive plays for the Tulsa offense in the game. That was a nice one for Tulsa on first down.
Yeah, they get him out, roll him out of the pocket in there and dump the ball off. He tried to go get to the quarterback. He dumps it. No one's left in that second level and gets some extra yardage.
20-yard catch and run. 7 of 7 for Hayes throwing the football. 40 yards and a rushing touchdown. Hands off here to Dominic Richardson, who broke the initial tackle by Brad Vislisel. Maybe got an extra yard. Richardson hasn't had a great second half after a good first half. Once again, Hayes only played in 2 games a year ago, and that was at East Tennessee State with Tulsa head coach, first-year head coach Trey Lamb. So very little collegiate experience for this young man. But he's been composed. Hands it off to Richardson, who gets by Vislisel, and once again maybe gets an extra yard.
Man, Vislisel had him in the backfield too, right? He had him behind the line of scrimmage and just couldn't bring him down, got the stiff arm, but he wasn't fooled and really had to alter his running route, and we were able to make the tackle. But Brad is playing a fantastic job at that end spot.
Tulsa ran for 263 in their opener. They have 113 tonight, 83 of those coming from Richardson. Hayes will pull it on 3rd and 6, gets a block, but not good enough. Josiah Charles was right there for the Aggie defense at midfield. 4th down for Tulsa. I mean, you would think punt, but it looks like for now they're going for it.
I think Coach Lamb didn't even bite an eyelash again. It's like, no, we're going for it. We're here to try to win this thing. This is a good 4th down right here for that defense. See if they can stand up.
Tulsa 0 for 2 on 4th down tonight, 4 for 4 a week ago. Hayes completes it for a first down to Mekhi Miller. Ice in the veins of the redshirt freshman. He just continues to shine.
Yeah, and Coach dialed up some pressure from Josiah coming in there off the slot kind of open spot, but he was able to get the ball around him and complete it.
Hayes double clutches and finds Richardson, who, if he gets by the defender right there, Tyler Martinez, he could have had a touchdown. He gains a dozen. Martinez with a touchdown-saving tackle potentially. The Aggies will sub our defense. Richardson goes off for the Tulsa offense.
Boy, that looks like a complete line change for the Aggies. Everyone off, new team in there. They're just getting winded.
They like their depth, our defense this year. It'll be tested here on the 4th. A.J. Allen, the running back, gets to the 3rd level, and he is inside the red zone. Allen hasn't been used much. He explodes for 13 and a Tulsa first down.
Well, it starts on that line of scrimmage. You create a big hole in there, and you get them to that 2nd level, and you get some extra yardage in there. That offensive line is doing a great job for Tulsa.
Well-traveled collegiate career for Allen. Nebraska, Miami, spring ball with FIU, and now at Tulsa in his first year on the program. Former top 5 high school running back recruit nationally. Hayes will pull it. He lobs it. Touchdown, Tulsa. The tight end, Brody Foley. His 2nd touchdown in as many weeks for the Golden Hurricane, and they tie it up at 13.
Amon Hale on coverage there, and he just gets by him. He kind of peeks into the backfield, and that costs him. The tight end gets behind him, and it's all over from there. You'll see it at your top of the screen here. It's a little ride him, pull it. There's Amon. It just got behind him, and it's a touchdown.
And now this is a huge point after for Seth Morgan to give Tulsa the advantage. Tulsa leads 14-13. Well, we thought this one could be close. And it is a 1-point game. 4th quarter, 7:33 left. Aggies will get the football back when we come back. Don't go anywhere. great football game here in week 2. About midway through this fourth quarter.
This is when you need that long, sustained drive on offense, right? You got 7 minutes left, 7.5 minutes left, and you just need a long, sustained drive and put 7 on the board.
And we've seen back-to-back really good, long, sustained drives for the Aggie offense as we set it down to the field to Kelly.
State with all 3 of their timeouts. This is still a game within the Aggies region. New Mexico State really needing this victory, especially when you look at what's ahead for the program. A week from today, New Mexico State will head on the road for its first away game of the season, opening up Conference USA against La Tech, a team the Aggies narrowly beat last season in a double OT showdown. They'll then immediately turn around and head to enemy territory, taking on New Mexico in the Battle of I-25. The real grand rivalry, always a chippy one, and this year it is at the Lobos house. Aggies looking for its first win over its rivals since the 2023 season, and a win here would just boost their confidence that much more ahead of a really tough road stretch ahead.
Thank you, Kelly. Donovan Fapel is submarined up to the 34. He gets 9 yards, 2nd down and 1.
You know, Donovan Fapel he's not a small guy. He's a 6'1", 195, 200-ish. He's a pretty big guy.
Another big night for Fapel. Logan Fife tucks it and runs. He says, I'm not going to slide. Did Fife lose the football at the end?
Yep, he did.
Officials trying to sort it out, and it's going to be Aggie football.
Wow.
Maybe he should have slid right there.
Yeah.
Always dangerous when the quarterback's running with the football, and New Mexico State will move the chains.
So again, it's that right tackle area, gets pressure on him, squeezes him out of the pocket, but because they're in man deep, there's no one in that second level, so he runs for that first down.
I think he was down anyway, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. An 11-yard scamper for Fife, who's used his legs a little bit here tonight. Throws it right side. Low throw, might have been tipped, intended for Jackson Owens.
You know, that defensive line, if they can't get to Logan, they're certainly putting their arms up there because they've batted or tipped many a ball that Logan has thrown and has affected the receptions of some of those.
Fife is 22 of 36 tonight for 198 and a touchdown. Has a wide open P.J. Johnson here. And he will roll for the first down up to the 45 of Tulsa, gain of 10. First down for Johnson and the Aggie offense.
I like when they spread it out, Adam. You put all the guys out there, spread it out, and let's find the areas that we can have a quick toss to someone cutting back across the middle. They're in man coverage, and PJ just made a great catch right there.
Aggies down a point, 14-13. Both defenses very good today. Fife on the play fake. Up top, incomplete. He was looking for the freshman Malone, who's had a heck of a half. Well, if anybody can catch that, it's the 6'5", Brody Malone.
That was a good ball he threw, too. He gave him a chance back there, and it was a kind of a stop-and-go pattern that he ran. He got a little bit behind the defender. Logan threw a great ball, and he just couldn't bring it down.
Four-receiver look. The tight end Harris lined up as a receiver, slot right. Running back, Kadarius Callaway. Jackson Owens looking for yards after the catch. 40-yard line, gain of 5. Third down and mid coming up with 5.5 left.
You know, that same formation where you spread everyone out. You leave one back in the backfield for picking up any blitzing, but they haven't been blitzing, but it puts them in man coverage. And just those quick little slants, those little hitch patterns have been wide open.
Isaiah Runnison now the running back on 3rd and 5 from the 40. Fife's throw is caught by Brody Malone. Danny, he keeps on winning 50-50 balls at receiver.
How did he catch that ball? We're going to have to look at that again here and see what he does. That's Brody out there, the 6'5" freshman. Man, he just pulls that down. I'm not sure how he caught that ball. good pass by Logan, too, because they were bringing a blitz, and he had to get rid of it fast.
Third catch of the half for Malone. 6'5", 205 freshman out of Houston. 5 clutched, near side Owens. Flag comes in. There's a lot of tussling, and we'll see if it's pass interference on Tulsa. It appears so.
Holding. Defense. Number 7. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Adam, maybe both sides are getting a little tired, because that's what happens when you get tired and you're in coverage. You're in coverage, little winded, and they come out there for kind of a go pattern on you. Sometimes you just hang on just a little bit more as you get by them, because you couldn't really, because your feet are tired. And so that may be what's happening out there.
Running back Stanley. Fife underneath. Harris makes a man miss. Bulldozes to the 10. Use that big strength. 240-pound Gavin Harris rumbling down to the 10.
Good call by Coach Yost. It's give it to the tight end over the middle. He's been in there blocking most of the time. Few patterns, but finally breaks him out. Puts a little hitch pattern right in the middle. Dump it off to him.
Under 4 left. First and goal from the 10. Brown in motion. Running back is Ruddison. 5 looking right side, and he has to throw it away. Smart choice. Rush came for the Hurricane defense. Byron Turner Jr. was the man rushing towards Fife.
You know, if he had just a little bit more time, I think Brody Malone was breaking across the goal line. He could have been open. Now, he was the number 2 receiver, so he looked to the right first and coming back across, but there just wasn't enough time to have multiple reads and had to get rid of the ball.
2 guys stacked to the bottom side. The backside guy is Lucas Unger, the tight end. They will motion Unger. Running back Ruddison. 5 near side, had a man, and he overthrew him. Brown was open in the corner. Just couldn't find the touch to put on that football. 3rd and goal coming up.
That's too bad he was wide open on that pattern. Let's take a look here. Sees him breaking open and just a little too much juice on it.
3rd and goal from the 10. Down 1 for the Aggie offense. Fapel in motion. 5 rolling right to Fapel, reaching for the pylon, and he's going to be short. And now you have decision time if you're Tony Sanchez. Now there is a flag on the far side of the field, and it's going to be on the Aggie offensive line. It's going to be a false start.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that kind of makes your decision a little bit easier.
Now, one official was motioning false start. It's going to be a legal formation on the Aggie offense. 5 trying to figure it out, and the Aggies can replay 3rd down and goal, but they have to do it from the 15. Clock will move. Under 3.5 left in the 4th. Can the Aggies get a touchdown and not have to settle for 3? 3rd down, goal to go. It looks like a timeout was called, but we haven't seen a signal yet. Tony Sanchez trying to figure it out with the officials. They're huddled up. Tulsa's going to huddle up on their sideline. Nobody called timeout yet.
That was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Still waiting for the explanation from Matt Overton, our referee. Let's see if we'll get one or not. I'm assuming timeout was called by Tulsa, but I never saw the motion. So we'll go with that. 3rd and goal from the 15 coming up. .3:18 left here in the 4th.
Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 32 seconds. It will start on my signal. Thank you.
That was before the reset, so now they'll reset the clock to 3:32, which could turn out to be big down the stretch. Fappel, Harris, Pride, and Johnson, the wide receivers. 5 throws, and it's hauled in by Gavin Harris. Touchdown, New Mexico State. They're back in front.
What a fantastic throw by Logan Fife. Harris right on the goal line. He gets it to him, and there's a flag. Is there a flag out there?
I think it was after the play.
After the play? What a great job by Logan.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Adam, a celebration going on. They threw a flag initially on Gavin Harris, but they pulled it.
So let's take a look at it here. You see Gavin right there in the middle of your screen. There's no doubt that Logan had him spied the whole time. A big body out there at 6'3", 240. Get him the ball, let him bring it down. Last week he caught 3 balls for 44 yards. This week he gets a TD as well, and they're going to go for 2.
Going for 2, trying to make it a 7-point advantage. This is big. Stanley in motion. The Aggies reverse it. Near side, there is breathing room. Dancing into the end zone. 2-point conversion successful for P.J. Johnson.
Great call by Coach Yost. You work on these all week, and it's like, do we ever get to run them? You get to run them when the time is right. The time is right. Let's run a little double reverse. Everyone follows, and he tosses the ball back to PJ, who's a little speedster, who gets that corner, gets in there for that 2-point conversion. Very important 2 points. Great call by Coach Yost. Great execution by the Aggie offense.
New Mexico State looking for their first 2-0 start since 2014. And if you go even further back, just their 3rd 2-0 start to a year since 1993.
Let's take a look at this double reverse again. Everyone on Tulsa's side is on the left side of the line, left side of the screen. There's no one on the right. He's walking in. I just had to quickly look around. It's like, was there any penalties? Because we've been so penalty ridden with 8. And there was none. Great execution. Again, great call. Great job.
Another really efficient drive. 11 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes, 10 seconds. So you got 8 points and you use clock. You might only need 1 more stop from your defense. And they have been so good in the first 8 quarters of football this year. Ryan Hawk has done his job tonight. And now the Golden Hurricane offense with a redshirt freshman quarterback will start from the 25-yard line on the road in the road opener with 3:23 left.
Kind of getting exciting. Defense has been strong for most of the game. They get a little tired in this 3rd and 4th quarter. If there's ever a time that you want to get back into this and put your heels in the ground and dig in, it's now.
Baylor Hayes, the quarterback. Running back Dominic Richardson. I mean, that 2-point conversion, that was massive. That's a game changer. Jet sweep handoff. Booker gets to the 2nd level, wrapped up by Torrey Gathers. Just short of the first down, though. 3rd and short coming up after the 6-yard pickup.
Snegoki was in the backfield, but he just couldn't get to him. Almost.
Hayes with the pitch. Peterson trying to run down Richardson, and Richardson runs for 2 yards in the first down.
They're going to stay with tempo. This has been their way of them pushing the ball upfield.
2-minute timeout coming up in 30 seconds. Tulsa down 7. Hayes. Catch is made across the middle. Mekhi Miller, the transfer from Mizzou, 2 yards short of a first down as he gets 8. Richardson plunges for the first down. So Tulsa approaching midfield, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. Do not go any yards tonight. Our 19 carries. It's been backup quarterback Baylor Hayes in the game since the final drive in half one. He is 11 of 11 through the air. Has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. This LaSalle slipped. Hayes completes another pass. That is Zion Booker, the transfer from Western Carolina, as Tulsa continues to make this interesting.
As soon as Hayes pops out of the pocket, I think it's just giving the receivers more time to get open. As long as we keep him contained, it seems like we do a lot better. But anytime he breaks containment, it's really getting tough on our secondary.
The Aggie defense has made so many plays in the first 2 games this year, and the offense has had a very, very good second half tonight. Can the defense hold? A.J. Allen on the run right there, so they're mixing in Allen with Richardson. Third down for Tulsa. The pitch to Allen.
Oh.
It will depend on the spot, and it's not a good one for Tulsa. It appears to be short. Trey Lamb can't believe it. It was not a good spot for Tulsa. It's going to be short, and fourth down is going to be coming up if this spot holds.
And I think it was that Sonny that was in the backfield. Someone had him all the way in the backfield and just couldn't hold on. Let's look right there and see if it was Sonny. Well, first of all, I think that was this LaSalle that was back there that almost had him pinned and couldn't do it. They're going to take a look at this spot.
It didn't look like a great spot for Tulsa initially. It seemed like they had the first down, so this could certainly change. Trey Lamb was near that line judge on the far side, and he reacted right away, as he should have. Now, it does give both head coaches a chance to talk to their respective teams about the situation right now. 21-14. New Mexico State converted on 3rd and goal from the 15 moments ago on a touchdown catch by Gavin Harris. And the Aggies had a successful 2-point conversion, which, of course, looms large right now with 1:26 left. Tulsa hasn't started their season 2-0 since 2015. Meanwhile, New Mexico State hasn't started 2-0 since 2014. The helmet did come off for Nate Mitchell in the process, so he will have to sit out for a play. Will it be a fourth down play, or will it be a first down play coming up for the Tulsa offense? We've been extremely impressed by Baylor Hayes, the redshirt freshman quarterback for Tulsa, who's trying to lead a tying drive here late in the game in his first FBS action. To the naked eye, it did not seem like a very fair spot initially for the Tulsa offense, and we'll see if that changes here. As it stands right now, it's 4th and inches. Does that change? This is a very long review. It's such an important play in this game, of course. It could be the game coming up. By the way, coming up next, Tulsa will have conference play in the American. They're going to play Navy at home next weekend. Aggies will have their conference opener on the road against Louisiana Tech. And La Tech hung around with LSU in Baton Rouge tonight. 23-7 was the final score in that game.
That's pretty impressive. You know, on this drive, Tulsa has to get in the end zone too, right? Three does nothing for them. We got a minute 26. Got 3 timeouts on both sides. The defense has really got to stand tall, and it starts with a big defensive push. Let's see what they have to say here.
Here's the call coming up.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
There you go.
The helmet coming off of the New Mexico State defender applies for a 10-second
Tulsa converted on a 4th and 5 at midfield earlier in the quarter. They misfired on 2 4th downs, though, in quarter 1. 4th and inches, potentially for the game right here. Big boy football. Pistol back Richardson, quarterback is Hayes. Richardson jumping for it, and he got the first down to the 41. He gets 2 yards. That offensive line is big, and they're good for Tulsa. Foley limping off, the tight end for Tulsa.
Yep, you know, that Aggie defensive line has really had their hands full, and it's going to be those guys are going to make a difference. Them and the defensive end. If we can keep everyone contained, I think they'll be okay.
Hayes steps up in the pocket. That pass was deflected, so way short of his intended receiver, Braylon Presley. Well, Jamal Thompson Jr. got a paw on it. Haven't called his name as much tonight. He was all-world last weekend. 2nd and 10. A $1:04 left. Booker, the motion man. Presley looking his way. Presley getting by Christensen. And he throws it downfield. Flag in. Caught by Mekhi Miller inside the 5-yard line. There is a flag down, though, and Miller can't believe it.
That's an accession on coverage there. And again, here we go. Let's see.
Number 8 went out of bounds and came back and was first to touch the ball. Illegal touching. It's a loss of down at the previous spot. 3rd down.
That's what you call a tactical error.
We've seen an illegal touching call 2 straight weeks now, Danny. Miller knew it right away. That was a heck of a catch in heavy traffic. And now Tulsa really backed up.
Yeah, let's see if we can tell where he went out of bounds. You see him at the top of your screen, at the top right there. He's just drifting over. Right there he goes. He steps out. Here we go. Play football.
Martinez trying to get to Hayes. Hayes intercepted. Jamal Thompson Jr. seals the deal.
Adam, during the break when you were talking about, hey, this is a good time for a turnover. It's always a good time for a turnover, but this is the prime time for a turnover, and it's Jamal. After you said, haven't called him too much, I think they clearly were trying to keep him out of the mix, and that's why.
The transfer from FCS Samford was impactful in the Samford program a year ago. And in the first 2 weeks, he has made his mark so far in the FBS. Dropping in coverage at that jack linebacker spot, Danny.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And maybe that starts with Tyler Martinez in the pressure. Tyler didn't get to him, but he forced him to get out and throw, maybe not as settled as he would want. And Jamal just makes a fantastic interception. What a great athlete, so it wasn't going to get by him too easy.
And off to Isaiah Ruddison. Timeouts to play with here for Tulsa. That may have been a season-defining forced turnover
timeout.
for Thompson.
Please reset the game clock to 29 seconds. 29.
That's a great job there. That's a fantastic effort by Jamal, by just being in the right spot. You try to get between the quarterback and the receiver, going to get in between the line of passing. And when you do, things can happen. You have to try to get it up over top. He wasn't able to do that, maybe partially because Tyler Martinez put so much pressure on him. He slipped, but he had to throw the ball not as much settled as he would have liked. And I think Hayes just didn't get enough over top, clearly didn't get enough over top, and Thompson was just there to grab it.
Danny, we've been singing the praises of Hayes the entire night, but
right.
You felt like at some point there could be a freshman mistake sprinkled in. He just hasn't played a lot of collegiate football. And it occurs in the final minute of the fourth. Tulsa still has 2 timeouts. So the Aggies cannot go into victory formation yet. Fife needs to take care of the football. He's had a couple of fumbles today. One they lost, one they recovered. So Tulsa can call a timeout again.
30 seconds.
3rd down coming up. And this is where having a veteran quarterback, I know he hasn't started a ton during his collegiate career, but a veteran quarterback who's played a lot of collegiate football, this is where it comes into play. Logan Fife trying to milk away the clock here in the final 30 seconds to put the Aggies at 2-0 for the first time since 2014.
On the night for Jamal, he had 3 tackles, 2 solos, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 interception, 1 QB hurry. I'm sure part of their game plan is if someone's going to beat us, it is not going to be number 6 on defense. He may have just beat him, though. He didn't have the numbers and tackles and sacks as last week, but comes out on a key interception.
1 timeout left for Tulsa. 3rd and 8 with 24 seconds left. It's going to be Fife again. 45-yard line. Tulsa uses their final timeout.
Final charge timeout, Tulsa.
So New Mexico State will regroup with 18 seconds left. That was huge for Tulsa having those 3 timeouts left.
Yeah, that made a big difference right there. So they get the ball back. 18 seconds. A lot of things can happen. Tulsa has to put it in the end zone, so they need 7.
You try to cover all these scenarios during preseason practice, but it's almost impossible to get to every single scenario, especially when you have 55 newcomers trying to learn the system.
Yeah, no doubt. But a lot of them have been playing football at other places, other spots, and so at the end of the day, you go through all these football scenarios, and it's the same thing for a lot of different spots. Let's see what we can do here.
Max Dean, the punter, with 18 seconds left. Booker, the return man, has to backpedal, and he will get a return with no timeouts left, and he can only get up to the 10-yard line.
Great coverage right there. The Gunners were just spot on. Great punt, pin him deep. Don't let him out because he can make you hurt as well. So now they got to go the length of the field in 9 seconds.
And you like the hang time, too?
Wow,
because you
yes.
took 9 seconds off the clock.
Yes.
They officially spot the ball at the 11 with no timeouts left for Tulsa. Aggies scoring 18 second-half points. We saw a massive improvement offensively in this half. Hayes juggles the snap. He can't get sacked here because you have no timeouts left. He throws it incomplete. And for now, there is 1 second left. Man, that was a lot of time.
That was a lot of time back there. And as we sit in our prevent, you know, there's a lot of room for him to run around and run around. The only problem is you have to go so far, and you only had 6 seconds. Now you only have 1, so you can run around, but you'll be out of time.
One second left. 89 yards to go for Tulsa. Hayes rolling right. Pressured by Thompson. Throws it. It's caught. It's down on the ground, and that will do it. New Mexico State is 2-0 for the first time since 2014.
Hey, yo, finally get one in the books. Offense comes alive second half.